We didn't tackle very well against their running backs. But we were able to move the football effectively, but we couldn't execute in the red zone. Missed 2 field goals off the goalpost twice.
And you've been very good in that area this year. So.
Man. So, I mean, we're capable of scoring. We understand that. So a lot of stuff was self-sabotage and not being able to execute in certain situations. And, it just tells me we're just not there yet. And I just have to continue to coach and continue to preach on culture and change and being diligent and persistent and showing up every single day. That's it.
And it starts up top with you. I mean, you've got to keep that consistency message-wise. You mentioned the culture. You've got to live that as well to where if they're looking up to, Coach George, they're seeing you do that regardless win or lose.
Yes, you got to be persistent. And if I have to make certain tweaks to make it better, that's what I'm going to do. If I have to change certain things to make it better, that's what I'm going to do. No matter, you always want to win because I'm a competitor. But again, you have to look at the hard, cold facts in terms of where we are, who we are, where we've been. Look at it from a 60,000-foot perspective of where this program was prior to taking it and where we are in the process. And to think that it's going to flip and have a championship team overnight is tough to do. Now, we were in the conversation of that, and I think that's a remarkable show of progress that late November you're in the conversation. Hey, you win a couple ball games, you're OVC champs. Mm-hmm. So we're moving in that direction. And I've got to get my guys to really believe in that, see that we're moving in that direction, and to continue not to fight the standard or just accept the standard, but live the standard and then raise that standard. That's where we have to get to.
Yeah, you're building your base and your foundation.
Yes.
With your coaching staff, with your roster, in recruiting, with the university, fan base, everything.
Everything.
Everybody's got to be all in.
All in. And if one person is out, it affects the chemistry of that. So I constantly have to remind myself of that every Saturday,
Yeah.
And say this is where we are in the process. Because when I see it, I'm like, okay, I know what this can be. I know how explosive our offense can be. I know how dominant our defense can be, our special forces can be. I expect that when we do it, I expect to see it every time, and we're just not there yet.
Hit us up, 615-737-1025, our number to chat with Eddie about literally anything. We do this show because we enjoy it. We can talk TSU football, college, NFL, off the field. Did I say where you posted something about NCIS? Was this a recent photo?
No, that was from years ago.
But someone else posted it,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it was probably like –
it was like some anniversary of something?
Yeah, it was my character I did, I want to say, about 5 years ago with LL. And it was a fight scene I had with him.
Okay,
where, man,
I know this
I tell you what, if you know, who knows LL Cool J in here? Let me see a show of hands.
Everybody.
Who doesn't know? You don't know LL? God, oh, my gosh. Anyway. He's on NCIS LA. He's a famous rapper. And yes, thank you. All right, ladies, yes. So we had this fight scene that we had to get ready for, and we had to rehearse this. And typically, in movies, it's fake, and, you go through the motions and the fakes. Well, this particular sparring session between me and L, it got really physical, like, he slapped me in my ribs. I'm like, oh, God, that was a real slap. So I slapped him in his ribs and the whole thing, and we got the arm block twist, and we're doing all these holds. And, the scene came off really well. But the next day, I was like, my God, I'm so sore. My ribs are sore, my back, everything. And I go to his house for a fight. He was showing a fight. I think it was a Mayweather fight. And I said, man, I have to admit, man, you're a strong dude. I'm sore today. He says, dude, I'm sore too. I said, so it was like this competition thing we had going on. So that was up.
So this was rehearsal.
This is rehearsal.
You're going through the choreography of what you're going to shoot, and you took it to 100.
It was almost an all-out brawl. Yes.
It was. So how did the shoot go?
The shoot went well. I mean, we got through it,
but the end result ended up being exactly how he wanted, how you wanted it.
Yes.
But more or less, he was competing with you.
Yes, and he was a very strong human being.
Man, you want to talk about Renaissance man at LL. Because
Yes.
you and I have talked about possibly teaming up with him for something in the future, and I was already prepping for it in some way during COVID. And there are so many avenues with that dude to go down.
I mean, listen, from music to acting to entrepreneurship to fatherhood. I mean, he's just a phenomenal dude to sit back and just talk with about life, and just the amount of great music that he's put out there.
Oh, the stories,
right?
The relationships.
Yes.
I mean,
yes,
he's in the room.
The classic,
you know what I mean?
the classic rap battles.
Yeah.
I mean, this is when. Back in the day, when MCing, we get in the cypher and you have rap battles. I mean, he was in a real battle with Kool Moe Dee. And this was like the classic rap battles of all time.
How do you get on NCIS? Like, how does it lead to you in a scene with LL Cool J as Eddie George? We don't have to. I know you were doing Broadway and some things, but
years ago when I was playing, I did a show in the house.
Okay.
So as myself, and then producers got wind that I was acting, and they was like, "Oh, okay, it would be cool to get you in NCISLA."
Yeah. Oh, you want to try this?
Yeah. And I've gone to during the years, I went to L's concerts. He was here actually for. A hip hop convention, and I introduced him. So we've had some great relationships over the years.
But I'm assuming at first they want you to play Eddie George,
yes,
like a cameo.
Yes, but this time I think the guy's name was Leon. I was Leon.
I love that.
Yeah.
When are you back on?
Who knows? Maybe it's off season. I wouldn't mind we have a recurring role.
So again, we're shooting here. Can you do the Dr. Pepper stuff as a head coach? Like, why are you not on that?
If Prime can do Aflac commercials, I'm pretty sure I can do.
No, I know it's legal. I just didn't know if you didn't have the time to do it or whatever was going on.
Well,
the college football
deal, yeah. So they can write me back into that script.
They killed you off.
COVID. Since I live in Nashville. And all the other
Fanville is the name of it.
Fanville is in L.A.
Okay.
And all the other actors live in L.A. From a cost perspective, But anyway,
I told you Bryce Young took your gig.
He did. But hey,
Fair
it's
enough.
all good. Hey, I'll get back.
NIL's here.
Yes.
NIL's here. Hey, you can join us here at 6th and Peabody every Monday, 6 o'clock with Eddie George, number 27 in the house, head coach of your TSU Tigers. And a big thanks to our sponsors as well. Low T Center, always getting it done. You can get your annual health exam. They'll take care of that. They're more than just T-level. They're also Xander Insurance. A big thanks to them for being a part of everything we're doing weekly here on 102.5 The Game. Here comes UT Martin, 5-4 overall, 3-0 in the OVC. Mm-hmm. The Tigers 2-2 right now in the OVC, 3-6, and a big part of that is the stretch you had at the beginning. You alluded to this, but you guys are in the mix going into last week. Now 2-2 in the conference, and the final home game means you want the fans to show up and support. At Nissan Stadium, 4 o'clock kickoff this Saturday, and it's a big time for TSU athletics. Basketball tips off tonight, 8 o'clock. There's also a game Saturday morning at 11 a.m. for the Tigers. That leads into the home game on Saturday at Nissan.
Mm-hmm. So it'll be exciting times. We're going to unveil a uniform that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're really excited about this one.
Is this a new hat, by the way?
This is a new hat, yes.
I haven't seen this.
Yes.
This is great.
Yeah, new hat. So we're going to.
Does this go with the uniform by chance?
It might.
Okay.
I'll just say it's bright.
Okay.
Yes, it's bright and vibrant, and it's strong.
Is it something you would have worn as a college student?
Possibly, yes.
The uniforms you see now, are they too? Are we going outside the realm of?
I love it. I love it. I love.
I'm a traditionalist.
I'm a traditionalist,
that won't
but
surprise
I like.
You,
but I like a little spice here and there, as long as it's not too much.
Like every week.
Yeah, every week. Like I like UT's grays. I think those are nice. The smoky. I mean, they're not.
I prefer
new.
the black uniform now with the black helmet over the smoky grays. And
Smoky
I'm
grays
in
are
the
good. But smoky gray. I mean, speaks
I'm
to
in the
Smoky
minority
Mountains.
there. Yeah.
So I think it's good there.
Well, you could call it smoky whatever.
Yeah. But I think, when you see other schools that are doing it.
And everyone is, except for Bama.
Bama, they don't do too. I would like to see them change a little bit. Like for example, that team up north.
Uh-huh.
When they wear the all blue,
Yeah.
that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I'm like, I hate to admit it, but I kind of like that look. The all blue and it's snowing outside. It's like, oh, yeah.
It fits.
Yeah, it fits. It is fitting.
Picture perfect.
Yes. So
we'll talk about the Buckeyes and the team up north coming up. There's a clash just around the corner.
Absolutely.
2 weeks from now, I believe.
Third week in November every year.
Again, you can join us, 737-1025. Big thanks to Xander Insurance. Xander gives you more options. More options means more savings for you. Free quote at xanderinsurance.com. We'll get Eddie's take on the Titans' loss at Arrowhead last night, what he saw, what he's looking for moving forward. First half Henry against second half Henry, and why the offense really stalled out in some big moments last night, and maybe he'll have an answer better than receiver, but honestly, that's the answer. The Eddie George Show on 102.5 The Game. Hey, I recommend going to Low T Center for your complete health assessment. They're going to check all of your levels, not just your T level now at Low T Center. In most cases, it's completely covered by your health insurance, and if you're not able to get it covered by your health insurance, it's less than $100 for a full lab panel, and the office visit with their medical provider will give you a complete health assessment. Low T Center specializes in men's health, making it quick and easy. They even verify your insurance there, and if you don't live near a Low T Center, and chances are if you're hearing this right now, you do, if you just need the convenience of an at-home treatment, Low T Center makes it easy to get started with treatment. Only your first 2 visits are in person. Go to lowtcenter.com right now. You can book online, lowtcenter.com. lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care.
Silly Underdog Picks is back. Get your friends and sign up today at thegamenashville.com. Pick the 3 football underdog teams each week you think will win for a chance to win weekly prizes, like a pair of tickets to a sporting event or to a concert in Nashville. Oh, yeah! Go to thegamenashville.com or the Game Nashville app and sign up and play now. Then tune in every Thursday at noon for our expert picks. Silly Underdogs is presented by Volunteer Hose and Gasket and Superbook Sports.
Hey, it's Eddie George. You know we all have crazy busy lives and don't take time to research car insurance, right? Well, you don't have to. Xander Insurance does all the work for you. Their system shops over 15 top companies to find you the best rates, and they keep shopping every year. Their clients have saved an average of $600. That's why I'm a client. Xander gives me more options. More options means more savings. Get free quotes at xanderinsurance.com or call 800-356-1780.
Two icons, one night. Billy Joel, Stevie Nicks. Friday, May 19th, Nissan Stadium. Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at livenation.com. Together in Nashville for the first time ever. Don't miss Billy Joel and Stevie Nicks.
Harman Energy is now hiring drivers for their Nashville team. Harman Energy is Tennessee's petroleum solution for major industries. Right now, they're offering competitive compensation. Fuel tank wagon drivers start at $26 an hour. Fuel transport drivers, $29 an hour. Plus, there's a $4,000 sign-on bonus for CDL drivers. Top quality benefits and a great place to work, Harman Energy employees provide totally outrageous customer service. Come be an employee owner with the Harman team. Apply now at harmanenergy.com.
Hey, it's Hutton. Interest rates are rising, but not at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Replace your old unit fast before new regulations increase prices up to 20%. Get a new unit today at today's price and receive up to $1,500 off, or get 18 months of no payments, so the first payment is not until spring of 2024. At Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, all new systems come with a 10-year parts and labor warranty. Schedule your appointment now at springhillac.com. That's springhillac.com.
Everyone can boost their digital confidence with NordVPN. All it takes is one simple click. NordVPN will block online trackers, hide your virtual location, and secure your devices from malware-infected files during downloads. It will also detect malicious websites. So catch the Black Friday deal for a 1 or 2 year plan at NordVPN.com and get 3 months for free. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
This is the Eddie George Show on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
We're live at 6th and Peabody with Yeehaw Beer and Old Smoky Moonshine for the Eddie George Show, presented by Xander Insurance and the Low T Center. Big thanks to Ladarius Robinson and Junie Riddle being on site with us from 102.5 tonight, and Jared Cassidy for making it happen back at our studios. You can join us. 615-737-1025 is the number. Before we go to the phones, Titans fall in Kansas City, led by 8 in the second half. Great defensive effort, and we'll emphasize great in all caps. Offensively, a lot to be desired. If you would have told me that Derrick Henry was going to have the amount of carries that he did, I would have told you that Kansas City was up big and they had to throw the football to keep up. But they played their style, except for when it's time to go get points. I don't know if this is an offense that can go get points. And we know Kansas City can. And at some point, we knew Mahomes was going to make a play.
Well, that's the difference in the game for me. At some point in time, when a game is that close, your quarterback is going to have to make a play with his arm or his legs, and Mahomes did both. Malik Willis he's a rookie. Was 5 for 16 for 80 yards. And when you're in a position where you have to, in situations where you're in 2 minutes and you have to put the drive together, to get you don't necessarily have the weapons outside, and you can't rely on the run, you can't rely on play action, that's when you're exposed. Mahomes has been there. He's Super Bowl champion, played in numerous playoff games. He's at home. At some point, you know he's going to figure it out. And the Titans did a magnificent job of blitzing, dropping 8, changing up coverages, getting to him, getting under his skin. It was until he said, okay, I'm going to use my legs now, and now I'm going to take over this game, and he did just that. Dude, for 68 passes.
He was 3 away from the all-time record for attempts in a game.
That's insane. 68 passes.
And so officially, the Chiefs ran 91 plays.
Wow.
Counting the penalties that count and then you redo the down or whatever, over 100 snaps for the Titans defense on the field. Henry in the post-game locker room went around and shook all the defenders' hands, everyone that was active for the game, saying, like, you did exactly what you came here to do.
Yep.
Special teams-wise, they did their part. Stonehouse pinned the Chiefs deep. It was a field position game. I thought the Titans did a good job there. They didn't take advantage of their great field position in the second half. And the offense, again, like, you mentioned the receivers. There's that to me is the difference between the Titans, who are a very good team this year, and the upper shelf. Because there's got to at some point, the quarterback, no matter if it's Tannehill or Malik Willis, has got to step up and make a throw to a receiver that's going to come down with it.
Right.
And that dude's not on this roster right now.
Right. And you've got to be able to win the one-on-ones. When you're man-to-man, you've got to make those plays.
They'll be in the mix.
Their defense,
their run game.
Their defense is nasty.
Vrabel's culture, to what we talked about in the first segment, that carries over. That travels.
Oh, it does. And it no matter what stadium you go into, no matter what type of team, that was the number one offense in the league this year, and they held them to 20 points. And they were struggling to find their way. I mean, when they went up with 9-0 in the first quarter, I said, okay, this could get away from them easily. But they settled down, played great defense, believed in their game plan, executed beautifully. Got Derrick going. I said, man, they turned this into a fist fight. Shortened the game, one time of possession, like you said, to your point, field position and all of that. So it played well, and I think Vrabel, man, he is one hell of a coach, man. He's awesome.
I think he
really
does
is.
more with less,
Yes,
given the
does.
circumstances,
Yes, he
than
does.
any coach in the league.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's a week where he gets out-coached. I think there are weeks where, and I'm just saying like going into a preview of a game,
Yeah.
I think there are weeks where he absolutely, the Titans have the advantage on the sideline.
Yeah, no, he's
May not have been last night with Andy Reid. I'm not saying that, but he definitely knows how to
Listen,
defend Mahomes.
every single week, when you count this, you go back to last year when they had the 51 or some crazy ridiculous number of roster turnover.
Oh, yeah, 91 players total. The number of same
and the
number of plays
number
as the
one
Chiefs.
seed.
Yeah.
The number one seed.
Number one.
Not just barely making it into the playoffs, but the
12
number
wins.
one seed. Without Derrick Henry, mind you. That to me is all coaching and having those guys believing in it, and he's going to eventually win one or two or three because that's where he's headed right now. I mean, that's really the last thing on his resume is to win a Super Bowl before you can really say, man, he's probably the best coach in the NFL. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, coach of the year last year.
Last year, yeah. So he's showing it, man, and. Because they were a 12-point underdog going into that game.
I went up to 14 once
With
Tannehill was rolled
Tannehill
out.
was
Yeah,
a rookie quarterback who only threw for 80 yards.
80 yards,
man,
and
yeah.
5 completions the week prior.
Yes.
I thought Willis, to his credit, made some strong throws, albeit 16 attempts or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Even on some of the incompletions, I didn't think they were necessarily on him. Second half, I would have gone to Henry more. Second down, you just need to get in field goal range. There are certain things where I'm not going to let him throw, even if he's throwing accurate. Like,
we'll say this.
Kick a field goal.
The Kansas City Chiefs defense made adjustments to where they won on first or second down. They got into a few third and long situations. Penalties. It took Derek out of the game completely in the second half, and that was all the difference.
So he gained 92 yards in the first half, and he now has an NFL best 583 first half yards. He's the leader right now in yards, and first half this has been a volume back traditionally, quote unquote, and now it's kind of the opposite this year, where you're looking for him to finish, and he's been doing that the last couple of weeks. But now, I mean, moving forward, they got Denver this week, a very difficult defense, not a difficult team, difficult defense.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows about Tannehill, but Willis, I like the read option in the first half. I like some of the run elements. I would try to work in more of that. Yeah,
working that. You know, I saw a lot of pistol, which puts a lot of pressure on the defense in terms of how they're going to run fit, where the strength is going to be. And so I like what they're doing there. Very, very creative with Willis.
Hit us up with your thoughts, 615-737-1025, our number, 737-1025. Cedric out of Murfreesboro, lead us off on the Eddie George Show on 102.5 The Game. Hey, Cedric.
Hey, what's happening, fellas? Hey, Eddie, two things for you. So back in the 90s, 80s, the whole used to be Rocket Man, unbelievable environment. As a head coach, what is it like to play at the Titan Stadium with not necessarily the best environment, kind of a stale environment sometimes? Second part of that, do you guys have any plans to renovate the whole, maybe a new stadium on campus to kind of get that atmosphere back? And then, Eddie, the last thing, I don't know if you saw the Bustin' with the Boys podcast, but Chris Johnson was asked to rate the top 3 running backs in Titan history. I got to get a little messy. Eddie, what's your top 3? You, Chris Johnson, Derrick Henry. Break it down for me. All right, appreciate it, man.
Well, I'll start with the last one first. Earl Campbell won, so I'll leave it at that. You put 1, 2, 3, 4 after that. So Earl Campbell's always number 1 in my book. As far as the whole goes, yes. I mean, that was a great environment. When we played Lane College in the hole was incredible, regardless of the outcome of that game. And when we do play in Nissan, yes, it feels like we're playing in a hole, a black hole with, no
matter what, it's going to feel empty.
You can feel it like
you've got 30,000. It's
still empty. So
it feels that way.
Yes. Yeah, because you see all the empty seats. I mean, it's a cool game day environment with the Jumbotron, the music, this, the that.
You have all the bells and whistles.
But, in terms of college football, nah, that's not it. So, yes, there are plans to have the whole renovated to some degree with hopefully a football operations building on the back end of that, turf, scoreboard, all of that. We want to really bring that life back to campus so we can have a real home field advantage.
Which you did against Lane
Yes.
in the overtime performance there. What, 11-5, I think, was the attendance?
11-5 was the attendance. It was awesome.
That's
It was
great.
it was phenomenal.
Lamont is next up. He's calling from St. Louis, and he joins us on the WilsonCountyHyundai.com hotline. What's up, Lamont?
Yes, how you doing, Coach Dodge? My name is Lamont. I'm an alumni of Tennessee State, and I came to all games, and you're doing a great job, but defensively. And I just went through the roster and saw we had a kid from St. Louis, Missouri, number 50, and he didn't play. I was wondering, is it a problem with those kids recruiting this area, or why all of a sudden number 50 has not played in a couple of games? And when I was there, he's got in and produced. Other than that, I think you're doing a great job. I'm a coach, and it's hard trying to rebuild, but I think you're heading in the right direction. And
Well, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for that. You're talking about Davion Nash. Yes, Davion, he is a wonderful young man, great student athlete for us. He is a specialist in terms of a pass rush specialist. It's difficult for him to play every single down because he is undersized. And in the conference that we play in, we play in offensive tackles that are 6'2", 6'3", 310, 345. I mean, it's difficult for him to be in that situation. So, I will listen. I have no problem with scouring the earth for talent, okay, or going out into the universe, to Mars, Venus, wherever there are
You'll bring them here.
eligible players. I'm always looking for great guys. So I don't discriminate anywhere. If you know players, and especially offense and defensive linemen, that you can shoot our way, great. I'll look at them all. I have no problem with that at all. But this is a process, and anyone, again, that looks at our situation and thinks that it's lightning in a bottle, and we go from winning 9 games over a 5-year span to becoming champions overnight is difficult. This thing requires surgery, and it has to be inside out, from everything we do on a consistent basis to the standard that we set, and that translates into wins at some point in time. So that's where we are.
It's a staircase.
It is an absolute staircase, and guess what? You're going to take 2 steps forward and then 2 steps back, and that's as long as we're ascending upward, then I think that we are heading in the right direction. But there will be setbacks, and there will be learning experiences along the way.
The Eddie George Show on 102.5 The Game, presented by the Low T Center. They'll provide you with a complete health assessment, fast, convenient, and easy to get started. LowTCenter.com, reinventing men's healthcare. And brought to you by Xander Insurance. Xander gives you more options. More options means more savings for you. Free quote at XanderInsurance.com. Saturday, TSU Day across the Cromwell stations here in town. Men's basketball hosting South Carolina State at 11 a.m. on Saturday, ESPN+. 102.1 The Ville will also have the play-by-play for that. And then, of course, 4 p.m. kickoff as TSU football gets underway against UT Martin. Kickoff there at 4 o'clock, also on ESPN+, and also will begin on 102.1 The Ville. And then the football game will be joined in progress on 94.9 The Fan. Greg Pogue and Dan Lang, they've got a double duty that day. A big jam-packed day for TSU Tigers athletics.
They're earning their paycheck.
That's right. Hey, let's Coach Penny Collins, let's go. Tipping it off tonight against Fisk.
Actually, I'm headed over there right after the show.
8 o'clock. I love the 8 p.m. tips, by the way.
Yeah, nice.
Perfect.
And listen, this team is this is a pretty good team he has coming back.
We were
so
talking
I'm really
the other
excited
week
about it.
Yeah, he's pumped.
Yeah, he should be.
He's energetic about this group.
Yes.
So 3 straight to begin. You've got tonight, Saturday, Monday at the Gentry Center. For more, you can go to tsutigers.com. When we come back, we'll talk a couple of different topics. College football, the craziness with the college football playoff rankings, and what we're going to see tomorrow night with the wins and losses for some. Also, Frank Reich fired today by the Indianapolis Colts. and Jeff Saturday is named the interim head coach of the Colts. We'll get Eddie's take on that and more. Stay tuned to the Eddie George Show on 102.5 The Game.
This is Phil Tomasino, and this is Smashville.
Cousins put it in front of the score. Tomasino lofts it in. 2-0 Nashville.
This is the flagship of the Nashville Predators Radio Network, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
The final matchup of the Tennessee basketball team's 3-game series with Colorado is coming to Nashville. Don't miss the Tennessee Volunteers versus the Colorado Buffaloes at Bridgestone Arena Sunday, November 13th. Be there to witness your Volunteers in action as they look to run their all-time record against Colorado to 5-0. Sunday, November 13th, Bridgestone Arena. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Presented by Red Cap.
Don't miss out on Black Friday deals at Electronic Express. Come into our convenient locations for great deals on all of your favorite brands like Samsung, Whirlpool, LG, Polk Audio, and more. Electronic Express has huge savings in every department: computers, appliances, 4K TVs, housewares, furniture, mattresses, and more. Save up to 40% with up to 36 months free financing. Shop in-store or online at electronicexpress.com and get free express delivery on most items. Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Genesis Diamond's biggest and last sale of the year is coming. November 18th, 19th, and 20th. It's an extraordinary event with savings of 20, 25, up to 35% store-wide. Rings, earrings, pendants, bands, bracelets. Nothing's held back for this once-a-year, 3-day store-wide sale. Acclaimed designers will be flying in with expanded collections and special pricing. Plus, get 0% interest financing. Luxury pre-owned Rolexes are also included. It's the final store-wide sale of the year with discounts up to 35%. Genesis Diamond, November 18th through 20th only. Green Hills and Cool Springs.
If you have certain chronic conditions, such as heart disease,
asthma,
diabetes, and you're 19 years of age or older,
52, 36,
42, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I'm going to ask my doctor
about getting vaccinated
with Prevnar 20.
Jonathan Hutton.
You have to put the ball in his hands in that moment.
And Chad Withrow.
My kicker's making no decisions on a football team.
Are in the game. Join them for NFL postgame after every Titans home game, live from Landshark Bar and Grill in Margaritaville on Broadway. They'll break down that day's game and look ahead to the next one. NFL postgame is presented by Two Rivers Ford, Renter's Warehouse, and Superbook Sports on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. This is the Eddie George Show on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
4 o'clock kickoff, Nissan Stadium. TSU, your Tigers taking on UT Martin. Could use a great crowd. Senior Day this Saturday. Weather should be good based on the outlook I saw this past weekend. Am I wrong on that? As you
it's
look
going
at
to be a little chilly.
Oh, it's going
about
to be
47 degrees.
So it's not going to be raining like last weekend.
Nah,
that's what I was looking at.
It wasn't that bad last weekend. It wasn't that bad weather-wise.
Well, for your kickoff, it wasn't.
Well,
it was bad for Ohio State. Let's look around.
Yeah,
but you're like locally for your kickoff was fine.
Yeah, it was. I saw the Ohio State game. Watched a little bit of that.
So there, I mean, Ryan Day admitted by the way, the Eddie George Show presented by Xander Insurance and the Low T Center at 102.5 The Game. Ryan Day postgame was like, yeah, I was worried that the snap wasn't going to make it back to CJ, like on a straight line. The wind was so bad.
It was very unpredictable, and that's how the Big Ten is in Evanston. I mean, it can get crazy.
Did you see the Northwestern players celebrating when it started raining and the wind picked up?
Oh yeah,
I mean
that was their 12th defender. I mean that helped. And but the problem with Ohio State was they were horrific on third downs, 3rd and 1. I don't give a damn, if you're playing in a damn hurricane. For that team,
that down in distance in that weather.
If that's how you're built, you get that yard. If you are that team, ranked second in the country, you're going to get that yard. I mean, that's pure will and desire into the win. It's interesting times, I think, in terms of college football, and I think they are the second best team in perfect conditions. But to me, Georgia is head and shoulders above everybody else in the country right now.
It's that clear now.
No, I mean,
I'm with you.
That defense is nasty. Ooh, it's nasty.
Well, but the difference this year to last, I don't think their defense is as good as last year. Last year was just incredible. They're really good.
Mm-hmm.
But Stetson Bennett, after the SEC championship game last year, and the fans wanted him benched or whatever, and he goes to the college football playoff and becomes the college football playoff MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Outstanding performance in back-to-back games. And then his start of this year, there have been ups and downs, but for the most part, he's been fine. And then you saw on Saturday against Tennessee, he's a guy that's been there, done that.
Right.
What part of ridicule or pressure is he going to face that he hasn't already accomplished? 25 years old, stepped up playing at home.
Yeah.
Against the number one team. They're not the number one team this past week. Tennessee was, no matter how you want to look at it. And man, did they come out and play perfect.
Yeah, I didn't see all the game, but what I did see, I just saw them just dominate for 4 quarters. And Tennessee looked like they were out of sorts offensively. And when you're not able to establish the run of the offense, it puts a lot of pressure on their quarterback. I think he's a Heisman Trophy worthy guy. He gets the ball out really fast to his receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Throws a decent deep ball. But when that running game is not allowing you to stay ahead of the chains, and you're having to throw it on 3rd and 12, 3rd and 8 consistently, and constantly move the chains in a hostile environment, that's tough to do.
Yeah, and you're getting some penalties that aren't helping you.
Yeah.
You're backed up a bit. Fumble to begin. They only get a field goal. Stetson Bennett comes back, play action. Deep fumble. They barely get it out of the end zone. I don't think they did. I thought it was a safety, but it wasn't. They punt. Great field position for Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Touchdown. They get the ball back, go down, touchdown, back of the end zone. And before you look, it's 21-3.
Yeah.
And
Game
Georgia's
over.
got you.
Yeah. Now it's like a python. Once the python gets you wrapped up, it squeezes the life out of you.
So
you ain't getting out of that.
How about this? First time since 2007 that Oklahoma, Alabama, and Clemson have all lost on the same weekend. And for the first time since 2010, Alabama has 2 losses before Thanksgiving.
That is crazy.
But this is great for college football.
It's great. You get tired of seeing the same teams in the top 4. Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and occasional USC, or an Oregon. And it's like, okay, it's good to see Tennessee in the mix, TCU in the mix. Who else? Clemson lost, you said, like you mentioned.
Yeah,
so,
Clemson lost. So now LSU, who beat Bama, has 2 losses. I don't think they're getting in.
No.
But Oregon, who lost to Georgia, that's their only loss. USC, UCLA, they're going to battle out in the Pac-12. And I think there's a decent shot that one of those 3 gets in. I don't think TCU has had 3 or 4 fourth-quarter comebacks.
Yeah.
I think they're going to lose one.
And you know what?
Eventually, that's going to come back to bite them.
But I think if Tennessee wins out, they have a seat at the table because their resume is extremely strong.
And Ohio State or Michigan will have one.
They'll have one.
Georgia's in.
Yep.
And so that's the 4th. So I think the 4th can be, it's TCU or it's one of these Pac-12 opponents. Could it be the winner of – could it be one of the one-loss teams in the Big Ten? Maybe.
I think it's Georgia, Tennessee, Ohio State or that team up north. And I don't see TCU. I just don't. I would rather see the winner of the Pac-12. That's assuming that it's Oregon.
Sure.
Throw
and
them back
they've
in
been
the
very
mix.
good since that loss.
Since that loss, right?
And I don't think the viewing public have seen much of them since that loss.
No, nobody ever does. Nobody sees West Coast teams.
Right.
Unless you're watching USC.
Yeah, unless you're up late like we are.
12:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it, though. And I think it's great for college football that we have a better debate than August, where I would have argued with you guys or anyone that I knew 3 of the 4 playoff teams before we even kick off the season.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have said that, like, I can go ahead and tell you next year's playoff team before we even kick off the season. And it would have been Georgia, Alabama, and Ohio State. That would have been my 3.
But here's where I wish the
12 team?
Can you pull up on your phone real fast?
Yeah, you want to do the bracket?
Let's just do the bracket. Let's just break that down for a minute. Let's just look at that. Because it's some juicy matchups. If we were to do it today, what would that first round look like? It'd be what, 1 versus 12?
Well, I think what they'll do is the top 4 seeds get a bye.
Right.
And I'm going to pull up what ESPN has here for the playoff picture just so that we're going by the current teams, okay?
Yes.
So Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, TCU, but one of these 2, we know Ohio State or Michigan's out, but we'll use this for the time being. So Tennessee would play, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Tennessee would host Clemson on Rocky Top because the first round games are at the college campus.
Yes.
So from there, you're going Ole Miss, Oregon, Alabama, LSU, and
Again,
a rematch. And then USC, UCLA. So it's not going to be exactly like that because a lot of these teams are going to play again.
They'll play again, right.
But, yeah, man.
Is that not brilliant?
But the dessert here is it's on the campus.
Yes.
You get to host. I love it.
Yes.
Like, this is perfect.
It is perfect. That's why I wish it started this year versus, in what, 24? Are they saying the earliest 24 or 26?
I think it's 2025 now.
25 now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's when the current contract expires. So.
All right.
It'll be the year that Texas and Oklahoma come to the SEC.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Whatever year that is, which is 2025, I think.
But that first round matchup sounds so delectable, doesn't it?
Yeah. And then you have from there you spread it out to the bowl games that want their cash grab anyway. And everyone wins.
Everybody wins.
We're winning, though, with the college football season as it is. I know Bama fans are upset. Vols fans, you should be fine. Like ESPN says, you have like a 77% chance of getting in if you win out. Georgia setting the bar. And then there's Ohio State and Michigan, which is coming up November the 26th. And Eddie, he's not sweating it yet, but we'll see what happens with that.
Listen, I'm trying to win a ball game here at TSU. That
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yes.
He's got UT Martin coming to town
Yes.
this Saturday, kickoff at 4 o'clock. When we come back, we will discuss some NFL headlines. I'll get Eddie's thoughts on Jeff Saturday going from Bristol, Connecticut, where he was scheduled to be on the ESPN campus tomorrow to react to Monday Night Football tonight between Baltimore and New Orleans. He's now in Indy as the interim head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. We'll get thoughts on that and much more as the Eddie George Show continues on 102.5 The Game.
At some point, it's a combination of who did you play and what does your skill set look like.
Get the best analysis of the big stories in the sports world with ESPN's Jason Fitz.
If you reach for a quarterback in the draft because you need one, you're going to set your franchise back 5 years.
Join Fitzy every Wednesday at 4:30. Presented by Blood Assurance. Jason Fitz.
I am 5'9.5"
on ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
Look for partly to mainly clear skies as we head through the overnight tonight. Temperatures drop back to the mid-50s. A gorgeous Tuesday to get out and vote. We'll look for temperatures in the mid-70s with sunshine. For Fox 17, I'm Chief Meteorologist Katie Morgan.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
In honor of Veterans Day, Twin Peaks is celebrating those who have given the ultimate sacrifice by giving back to Tunnel to Towers. Tunnel to Towers is a foundation which helps America's heroes by providing homes to first responder families. Get to Twin Peaks and donate $5 to Tunnel to Towers through November 30th and receive $5 back to spend on yourself at Twin Peaks this December. Visit your favorite Twin Peaks for more information. Valid at participating locations.
Hey, it's Big Joe on the go. Look, I get it. Nobody likes being in a car accident, but when that happens, make it easy on yourself and call Apple Collision Centers so you don't have to stress. They're locally owned with 3 convenient locations in O'Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. Apple Collision Centers managers combined for 60-plus years experience, and they only recommend original equipment parts on your vehicle. So, if you're in need of a repair today or down the road, just head over to Apple Collision Centers. Stan and his team will take great care of you. Online, applecollisioncenters.com.
Men, are you asking yourself questions like, why am I gaining fat? Why is my energy or sex drive down and maybe haven't been getting the exercise you need? If you want to get back to the man you used to be but just don't have that youthful energy, that edge you once had, you very well might have low testosterone. Low T causes all kinds of issues, from a reduced libido, lower drive, and bad sleep patterns to problems with muscle gain, bone density, and more. It may even contribute to erectile dysfunction, and if this sounds like you, it's probably time to get treated for your low T. At the Tennessee Men's Clinic, we've treated thousands of men for low T. We've seen them put on muscle, add to their energy, improve their sex lives, get better sleep, and just feel better. Plus, if you're like most men, you'll see results in only a few weeks. So make an appointment today and experience how testosterone therapy can truly change your life. Your initial appointment is only $99 with results in minutes. Call today, 615-208-9090, or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects, treatments extra, results vary.
This is the Eddie George Show on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Big thanks to C-Wiz, who is in the house tonight, here every Monday with us at 6th and Peabody.
Killing it on the 1s and 2s.
That's right, with Yeehaw Beer and Old Smoky Moonshine. The Eddie George Show continues on 102.5 The Game, presented by the Low T Center. They're going to provide you with a complete health assessment. You can get started at lowtcenter.com, reinventing men's healthcare, and Xander Insurance. Xander gives you more options. More options means more savings for you. Free quote at xanderinsurance.com. Frank Reich is out. I don't think that's a big surprise in Indy. Awful performance yesterday by the Colts. In New England, they averaged just over 2 yards per play against the Patriots. And now it's not John Fox, who's a defensive assistant in Indy. It's not any of their other veteran assistants or potential interim candidates. It is Jeff Saturday, who at one point was a consultant, as recent as a couple years ago maybe, for Jim Irsay. And now he's the interim head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. This is unusual.
It is. I mean, well, my hire was unusual.
Sure.
So I'm not going to ever knock that. I think everybody deserves an opportunity if that's your purpose in life. In terms of the timing of it and what you're inheriting and what you're walking into, given the lack of experience into that world, the professional world, and in the middle of a season, is going to be a firestorm. I mean, you're going to have to walk in there and know what you're looking for, really lean on the guys that have been there, your coordinators, to kind of navigate you through what's really under the hood. Yeah, you're a consultant on the top end, but when you're in there grinding day to day,
yes,
the team, and they have to buy into you and your message and the culture, what's there, what's working, what's not working. I know that they've invested a lot of money into their offensive line, and they've underperformed dramatically. They're having issues with at the quarterback position. So what's the first thing you're going to address when you walk through the door is what? Again, you have coordinators that have been there every single day, and they know where the bones are buried. So it's going to be a matter of the type of support that he gets.
Yes.
And what is your mission vision? What do you want to say? How do you shift it?
Because it's different. If you're inheriting as an interim and you're the assistant, then it's kind of – you get a cat like Williams is doing it at Auburn right now, or what we saw from Bisaccia last year in Vegas, or Malarkey when he was the interim here. There have been examples of a guy takes over, he knows the attitude and the vibe of the locker room.
And
he knows what the
it.
problems are.
Right.
This is different. This is, hey, I've been appointed by the owner.
Off the street. Like you were in the studio at ESPN. Now you're okay. Bam. Here's a list of problems. Here's the salary cap. Here's our schedule. Here's what we do on a day-to-day basis. If you've been out of it for a while, like I've been out of it for a while, it's gonna take your time. Like okay.
And you play on Sunday.
Hey, let's go. Let's go win.
It's crazy. But it also fits Jim Irsay out of left field.
But what I say is this: I think he's been involved in the organization for a while, so he's not too far in what's going on. He's a staple of that organization. Mm-hmm. He's played there for most of his career. 6-time Pro Bowler, all the accolades, and that he does know offensive line. So maybe that's where he starts. That's the tip of the spear where he starts. But ultimately, you've got to win that locker room over and have these guys believing in something.
Yes.
That you can salvage the season or moving in a positive direction.
And they're looking at it going, okay, is this a message that we're playing for the top quarterback in the draft? I mean, that will definitely – everyone there's talking about that now.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that's where you are.
Yeah. And now they've, poor Indy. Whatever.
We're not Indy fans.
So no.
In fact, we're like, yes. Listen, given how tough it is to win on any level, I don't wish that on anybody. So my spirit goes out to that organization, and what those players are going through, what those coaches are going through at this point in time, it has to be tough.
All right, final 3 minutes. Baltimore, New Orleans tonight on Monday night.
It's an ugly.
You don't have to watch.
Nah, but I see some Baltimore fans. I saw a young lady.
Oh yeah, there is a Ray
with
fan.
a Ray Lewis jersey on in Nashville. Yeah. It was blasphemy. So I'm gonna buy her a drink with castor oil in it. But I think Baltimore wins this game. The Saints are just not very good. But Baltimore, they're banged up a little bit. I think Lamar Jackson makes enough plays that they'll figure out a way to win in an ugly game.
Yeah, they should. I would pick them as well. I did earlier. Roquan Smith is apparently playing for them. That's a great pickup at the trade deadline.
He fits the culture of Baltimore. I mean, he is a Bear, but then a Raven. Yeah, I can see that. He fits that Ray Lewis, C.J. Mosley, Suggs, the whole vibe of that organization.
He comes in tonight leading the NFL in tackles already.
Why was he traded again? Was it salary cap?
They didn't pick up his fifth-year option. And if they did, they didn't extend him this offseason. It was one of the two. I think they didn't pick up his fifth. He wanted to be traded. They didn't. And then they traded him when they could. And it's been a fire sale there with Ryan Poles, the new GM. And I don't blame him for it, but they've sent some really good defenders packing recently. Khalil Mack last year, Roquan Smith this year.
Yeah. And Khalil Mack had a great play yesterday, too.
Yeah, but, how good are they?
I know.
It's crazy. Eddie, UT Martin this week. Let's get the fans out. Let's have a good showing for Senior Day.
It'd be great to send us off in a great way. Give us some momentum going into the off season. We have 2 more games left. Our seniors have really, really worked hard this off season, really all year, going back to last year, buying in. And I would love nothing more than to have them win this game against a worthy opponent, finish off the season strong, and go into the offseason with some momentum.
Just a reminder, Saturday is TSU Day right here on 102.5 The Game and with our Cromwell stations. Men's basketball hosts South Carolina State at 11 a.m. on ESPN+, 102.1 The Ville. We'll also have that, followed by football. Kickoff is at 4 o'clock, also on ESPN+, also on 102.1 The Ville. And then the football game will join in progress on 94.9 The Fan. Greg and Dan have double duty on Saturday, and the TSU Tigers on the hardwood tipping off tonight. You can still make your way over to the Gentry Center tonight. 8 o'clock tip-off against Fisk. They play on Saturday at 11, 8 o'clock on Monday as well, all at the Gentry Center. For more information, visit tsutigers.com. Eddie, go get a win. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Let's do it, man.
Good to see you.
Appreciate it. Good to see you too, brother.
For Eddie George, Jonathan Hutton, thanks for joining us on Mondays. Join us here in person a week from tonight, 6 o'clock at 6th and Peabody. Thanks for everybody for making it happen. It is the Eddie George Show, presented by Zander Insurance and the Low T Center on 102.5 The Game.
Stuck at work without a radio?
Wait a minute. Disastrous.
I hate that.
It's got to be there.
That's okay. Download the Game Nashville app or go to thegamenashville.com and listen live. We are Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3. The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Hey, it's Jared. If you're listening to us on I-24 towards Murfreesboro or I-65 towards Spring Hill, make sure you check out 106.3 for another great way to hear Nashville's best sports talk.
Hey, it's Eddie George. You know we all have crazy busy lives and don't take time to research car insurance, right? Well, you don't have to. Xander Insurance does all the work for you. Their system shops over 15 top companies to find you the best rates, and they keep shopping every year. Their clients have saved an average of $600. That's why I'm a client. Xander gives me more options. More options means more savings. Get free quotes at XanderInsurance.com or call 800-356-1780.
How would you like to come home to a bartender who will fix you any cocktail you want?
I'll have an old-fashioned.
I'll have a margarita.
Now you can with the Bartesian Home Cocktail Maker. Bartesian is a sleek machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Choose from over 50 different cocktails, from classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian Cocktail Maker. And now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever at bartesian.com/enjoy. Entertaining? The Bartesian is ideal for parties. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail of their choice in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for anyone who loves a fine premium cocktail. Now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever. It's available right now, only at bartesian.com/enjoy. That's BARTESIAN.com/enjoy for Bartesian's best deal ever. Only at bartesian.com/enjoy.
When Genesis Diamonds has a sale, you know it's the real deal. And it's happening November 18th, 19th, and 20th. Our final store-wide sale of the year with deep discounts up to 35% off. This is the big one. The one where the staff knows they can break all the rules. Plus, Genesis selection is nearly double, with designers flying in their entire collections all on sale. This is the last and best jewelry buying opportunity of the year. Luxury